Hi, Santa Fe. It's been a while since we've talked, but please don't mistake my YouTube silence with inaction. I've been really busy planning and making videos you guys are going to love regarding our city and each other. I can't wait to show you what I'm working on. Unfortunately, there's a need for me to take a break from other things and address a pressing problem, and that is the fact that the Santa Fe School Board is causing trouble again, just like they did in 2018. That was when they reduced the Fiesta Court's access to the schools, and that began a series of blows against the Hispanic community here. For those of you that don't know me, or for newcomers that don't know what's going on here in the City of Holy Faith, let me bring you up to speed by remembering what I've warned you about so many times in the past.
There's been some statements from some people involved that basically were super well intended and said that they hope that this decision will bring peace to our city moving forward, and that we can all get along now. It's not. It's not going to. I promise you it's not. They're going to come back to this fiesta, mark my words, with probably more protesters because they're invigorated from this win. I'll tell you what it's caused. It's caused the thing that they thought was going to go away. It's caused division.
A lot of Santa Feans think that, well, if we just give in this area and let's remove a festival, or let's go ahead and just remove this statue or that statue, that it will somehow appease the people who are bringing these protests against us. And it is not going to do that. The people and organizations who are upsetting our city are not going to stop. They've been saying this for years now, and I will yet again show you.
On Thursday, August 24th, there was a school board meeting. Before I get into the current school board a little bit, let me take you on a journey through our recent past. And as you watch this, keep in mind that Santa Fe's history is incredible. And all we've been doing over and over for the last few hundred years is celebrating peace every year at the fiestas. Us and our parents, our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, and our great-great-great-grandparents before us. It actually started as a promise to celebrate peace hundreds of years ago. Seems like a good idea to pass that on to our kids also, and so we've been doing that too. Going over some super basic history, keep in mind this is an extreme simplification of recent events. If you want to understand the more complete story, start with my In Defense of Santa Fe series. It seems like there's always a rational resistance to truly good things in this world. Back in 2017, radicals came to the yearly fiesta celebrations yelling genocide and causing public disruptions. They were arrested. The local media gave the radicals a sympathetic ear and story. In 2018, the Santa Fe School Board caved to radicals yelling genocide at a school board meeting. As a result, the board reduced the presence of the Fiesta Court in the schools in spite of decades of tradition and obvious educational benefits. Once they gave an inch, the radicals smelled blood in the water and have not stopped since. Many times, the Cross of the Martyrs has been vandalized, the Soldiers' Monument vandalized, even random things like the statue of the friar in front of the downtown library. All kinds of stuff. There were more protests at the yearly fiestas, organized protests downtown where more radicals were bussed in from faraway places in an attempt to deceive the public into thinking that it was locals that had problems with our traditions and historical things. The mayor of Santa Fe met with local hate groups behind closed doors and then made some incredibly ignorant and deeply flawed statements about the history of Santa Fe, then ordered the removal of the statue of Don Diego de Vargas, the founder of modern-day Santa Fe and a hero to the Hispanic community. He also ordered the removal of the Soldiers' Monument, but failed to complete the job even with the support and equipment from the governor. With passive cooperation and foreknowledge Mayor Weber had, the Soldiers' Monument was attacked by a mob of people, mostly bussed in from out of town and organized by local radical hate groups, but more on that in a minute. After that, we had to deal with a chart fiasco that only succeeded in one thing, making the Soldiers' Monument 100 times more controversial than it ever was. Even the state of New Mexico recently attempted to change the public school curriculum to paint the Spanish ancestors only in a very negative and murderous light. This mentality has worked its way even into the Santa Fe public school calendar that celebrates Native American holidays but removes any for the Spanish. There are louder and louder voices calling to strip away any reference to our Spanish roots and past, including renaming our city and all our streets. The blatant mistelling of history has been the common denominator that is fueling so much of this racism and cancel culture against Hispanics. So here we are all over again where the recent problems started. The Santa Fe School Board arguing to kick out any Spanish representation in our schools, while Native American and other representations can continue. They have come up with a resolution to strike another blow to the Fiesta Court in the schools. You would think that the oldest capital city in the United States, with the oldest tradition celebration in the United States, with incredible historic significance well predating the United States, would be able to teach some of those things to our kids and it be fine. But no, I guess not anymore, in spite of decades of tradition. Let's cancel all of that. That seems to be the mentality. Well, on to the school board. I can zero in on all of the school board members, but for this video, for now, let's zoom in on Sasha Gwynn Anderson. I may say more about the other members and superintendent after Monday night's meeting and vote, but Miss Anderson is a Mayor Weber puppet, and at least cut from the same cloth he is. If you like what our current mayor, Alan Weber, has done and said, then you'll love Sasha Anderson.
At the same time that I recognize the people from other parts of the city, the Three Sisters Collective.
She's the vice president of the school board and highly likely the person responsible for drafting this current garbage resolution to prevent kids from learning about our city's past and fiestas. Miss Anderson was Mayor Weber's campaign spokesperson a couple of years ago. Funny, she called me out in the paper a couple of times. For me, this has nothing to do with that, but everything to do with her using her power to harm our city and our children. She called me a MAGA something. Funny. And let's get this straight about my political allegiance. I am a staunch Indo-Republicrat. Get it? I'm not a political tribalist that can't think for himself. Anderson, however, presents as a political tribalist and apparently wants to bring national points of division to our town.
White people tend to avoid conversations because they want to be nice and they want to be polite and they don't want to rock the boat. And in doing so, they're actively harming indigenous populations.
Information that I have shows that Miss Anderson was all over and all about the removal of the Soldiers Monument and a bunch of our other historical things that have been under attack. I'm not going to do a full expose here, but this is just an example of what's going on with our school board. Listen to Doug Nava call her out.
Good evening. I was doing Diego de Vargas for the years of 21 and 22. I was the de Vargas that came in when cancel culture hit its highest. I have a statement tonight for Miss Anderson. I looked you up on Facebook because we can do that nowadays. Being and I apologize if I say this incorrectly, being a Chata Ohoyo is an exceptional privilege that comes with great responsibility. To learn my language, reclaim from our family traditional ways, lost in assimilation, but most importantly, to represent my ancestors and all they worked for. I'm not by nature a very good listener. I'm more a ready, fire, aim, and kind of person. But in the last few years, I have been working on quieting my own desires to listen to those who came before, to read our stories and see our measured, thoughtful ways of my ancestors, imbued with humor and integrity and grit. It is that deep knowing, that the deep desire to know, that fuels my identity as a Chata person. What's good for you in your belief should be good for us in our beliefs. And as Don Diego de Vargas, I wasn't just a member of the Hispanic community. I was openly gay. I was a 12th generation, 9th in my family. And I brought diversity by bringing in the first Down syndrome Spanish princess in Santa Fe history because I felt all deserved it.
To be clear, I am not asking or wanting any of you to hate Sasha Anderson. If you see her in a store or out in public, leave her alone. Do not harass her. She's a mom and a wife, and I'm sure a nice person, but I'm simply exposing her for what harm she is doing with her power in our community. I find it incredibly ironic that this Board of Education would even contemplate depriving our children of truly unique and local historical education, depriving them in the name of education, and all while we rank last in the country in our performance teaching our children education. It's just so stupid.
So I'm here today to ask a very important question of this board. Are you proud of yourselves and the work you have done? The reason I ask is, according to KOB TV report, New Mexico ranks last in education. Are you proud of that? 45th in health, with 6% of children uninsured. Wait, there's more. New Mexico also ranks as the worst state for child well-being. Are you proud of that?
Moving on, guys, don't fall for the misinformation. This situation is not a Spanish versus Native American thing with all the conflict happening in our community. This is actually a blended culture versus radicals thing. Let's look at one of the loudest radicals in our community.
Next up is Christina Castro.
To you, what people have been here in this area since before any of the colonizers you love to edify came to this land to steal, pillage, and rape, human traffic in the name of greed and violent land theft.
And I just wanted to give you an update about the meeting with my daughter's school principal over at Wood Gormley in regard to the Fiesta Committee's visit to her school, to the school this week, and other schools in the district. And apparently my daughter's school principal didn't even know this was happening, thought they had discontinued this, and was shocked to kind of find out at the last minute. They didn't really get any forewarning. She's not happy about it and is going to work with me to put an end to this. But we really need you to continue amping up the calls, the emails to the school district.
Ms. Castro and her group, the Three Sisters Collective, pose to be a peaceful group of artists that loves puppies and children, but they have been a destructive and harmful force in our community. They have been instrumental in the tearing down of history and inspiring city self-hatred fueled by lies and misinformation about the past. The Three Sisters Collective is credited for tearing down the Soldiers' Monument, organizing hate events, and coming to public forums to yell nonsense and harass. These are the people that would have us throw our traditions away, all of them. And just like Sasha Anderson, I am in no way encouraging or wanting Ms. Castro to be harassed or anything like that. If you see her out in public, leave her alone. She is a mother and someone with deep convictions of her own. She does have a right to voice her opinions in our community, just like any of us do. I just take issue and will talk about it when her and like-minded people and organizations start fueling illegal and harmful things in our city, like organizing a mob to attack our historical things. Look, the people of Santa Fe are largely over the past. We understand a few things. One, we understand that the past was extremely imperfect. Our Spanish and Native American ancestors were harsh to each other, to the point of murder and war and slavery, horrible things. Two, we acknowledge that past, but also breakthroughs where peace was achieved, even if only for a short time. Santa Fe was literally based on one of those breakthrough times, and in an effort to make sure that was remembered, our ancestors promised God and Mary, the mother of Jesus, to celebrate that peace every year together. That became our Santa Fe Fiestas, and we celebrate that to this day. We have also included our children in that knowledge and celebration. Three, we have become one people, Sure, there's some New Mexicans that have more Native American DNA and live on pueblos, or maybe more Spanish DNA, whatever the case, but you can sample just about any native New Mexican, and you will find we're all mixed. On Friday afternoon, the school board decided to postpone the vote for the resolution to ban the Fiesta Court from the schools. Postponing this vote on the proposal accomplishes two things. Number one, it gives the school board the opportunity for a redo that brings them into conformity with the law. The Open Record Act states that the public has the right to preview a proposal 72 hours prior to a vote, something they were overtly blowing off before. And number two, it gives the radicals that Ms. Anderson seems to align with more time to organize and bring all their friends into town and yell and scream and give the false appearance that the citizens of Santa Fe are for this proposition. Monday night will be a fiasco, and with reinforcements for local hate groups, the papers will have an easier time painting the picture that there are two local equal sides to this conflict. The truth is, the local people that want the Fiesta Court to continue the tradition in the schools outnumbers the local people that do not want it to continue by around 50-1 by my estimations. Compromise is not an option anymore. And I say that making this video on Saturday the 26th with full knowledge that a compromise is already in the works. The school board is feeling the heat from all sides and will likely come up with some kind of a compromise. I believe the Fiesta Council is probably already agreeing to that, but it is a mistake. The people of Santa Fe have been compromising over and over, and in return have only received more conflict. There should be no compromise here. Back in September of 2018, the local Native American leadership from all local pueblos, represented by a man named Regis Pecos, made a deal with the people of Santa Fe. They said that if we stopped celebrating the historical tradition of La Entrada in the yearly fiestas, all protesting of anything regarding history and the Spanish culture would stop. The people of Santa Fe, represented by the Fiesta Council, the Caballeros de Vargas, and the political leadership of Santa Fe, all agreed. The tradition in the fiesta stopped as agreed, but local hate groups, protesting, objections, and anti-Hispanic trends have only gotten worse, much worse. Native American Pueblo leadership, did you lie to us? Regis Pecos, did you lie to us? You promised us peace in return for something, and then when we gave you that thing, even though it hurt us to do it, things only got worse. Santa Fe, I hope you show up to the school board meeting on Monday night. I hope you find new resolve in yourselves to make voting a priority from now on. I hope you speak up from now on and take your city and culture back from idiots like the school board and most of the city politicians. You don't know what you've got until it's gone, and we have a precious heritage. Don't believe those that would tell you our culture, history, and heritage are something to be ashamed of. They're only lying because they wish to take power. Our ancestors were not perfect, but there is so much to be proud of. So much so that our ancestors built a city and a historic celebration over the idea of lasting peace. Be proud of that. Be proud that that representation is in our schools. Be proud, Santa Fe. In these days, everyone thinks they're a historian. Don't believe pseudo-history, lies, and misinformation that are so common. Stand up and fight for the next generation to have the same opportunity to learn what we did. Stand up and fight for what makes us unique. We are the city of holy faith. You'll hear from me again soon, Santa Fe.